Hey folks, welcome to a brand new episode of my Filemaker series, Tim Haid Filemaker series. I'm Tim, your host, and today what we're going to do is we're going to deal with the last thing that we finished off in episode 5. That's right, today is episode 6, and we're dealing with a sandwich board. So this is kind of where we're at right now, where we have our menu that we had done, and it was part of the menu board. Well, we don't want to do that. What we want to do is we can take this page and we can actually copy it, but we have to create it for something else. So let's do this. Let's edit our layout and manage our database, because that's kind of the very first thing that we need to do. We're going to need to create a brand new table, and we don't want it to be our menu table. Now, we had talked briefly, just briefly, had we touched on this whole menu thing. The problem that we're having with the way that we did it, or we started doing it the other day, was that if you create a record, if you have 50 different menus, different menu pages or whatever, it will create a record on every single one of those. And so those records will be gigantic, and you will very quickly eat up your cache. So we don't want to do that. We want to be able to keep our memory cache as minute as we possibly can, and we want to be able to control what's happening. So that's kind of the biggest part of what we're doing today. So in order to do this, let's create a brand new page just for this. So we're going to call this, I'm just going to call it sandwich, and then if you want to _1, and we'll go ahead and create that. Now, we will need to create another table so that we can have our, like if you look in our relationships and you see that we've got this Mama1 and Mama portal, we need a portal to go with that. So what we'll do is in our sandwich 1 page, we're going to create sandwich, and then we'll say portal. And if you want to, you can _1 or just put 1, so that we now know that these two are linked together. So when we go into our relationships, so we can go into our sandwich, we can create an ID. And remember, if we create this ID, only one of them will be able to create a number. So if we create this one, what we would do is this one would be a serial number, and it would be on creation. So it would automatically create a serial number, and you can start with any number that you want to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 5,000, 5 million, whatever you want. I like to keep my numbers the same length, because it bothers me when they start really small and then they just keep growing bigger and bigger and bigger. So for me, I would definitely want to start this at, I don't know, let's say 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll do 6, 4, and then 6 zeros. So we'll just go ahead and we'll call that good. So now it's an auto enter serial number. Now if we go to our sandwich portal, this one, what we need is an IDFK, and that is a number, and it's basically just going to link the two of them together. Does that make sense? So this number will be this other number. So if we do sandwich portal, we have sandwich 1, and we have the sandwich portal. So these two, we basically want to connect them together. And we'll just allow the creation of records in these, and we'll call it good. So now if we go into our fields, we can recreate all the fields that we had with our, like in our table, we had the Mama Portals one, remember, the IDFK, the item number, item name, item price, and then the price totals. So what we can do is we can select these, hold our shift button, and we can control C those, and then we can just go into our sandwich portal, and we can just control V them. So now we've created the exact same thing, it's just in a different space. So there's still item price, item name, all that neat stuff, but now it's under sandwich portal. And we've got that. So here we didn't really need anything except for, we do need the tracking number. I don't know why I just did that. we need the tracking number and then this table number. So if we go into our sandwich 1, we're going to need a tracking number. And that one will be a number, so Control N, enter, and then a table number. And that one can also be a number, but if you don't want it to be a number, you want it to be a text, it's okay if you make it a text, because a text can do numbers and letters, whereas a number can only do numbers. So in this case, you can go ahead and change it to text, and that's just fine. It's not going to bother it whatsoever. And that's probably a good idea, actually, to have that. So at this point, I think we're pretty much done with that. So let's just say okay. And then now if we go in and we manage our layouts, we can, this particular one is the Mama Lunch Special. So if we duplicate it and then we edit it, because now it's a special, we can do, and this one we're just going to call it sandwich, and we'll do underscore BRD for board. And we want this to be from the sandwich 1. And we'll say okay. So now we can close this, and then what we'll have here is this portal will do us no good because but we can still use it. And how we can do that is if we click on it, we do portal setup, we can do from Mama's portals, we can do, should be related tables, stop doing it. It's not going to let me do any of the other ones, cancel. So I guess what we'll have to do is we'll have to delete this one and then just rebuild it. So it's not that big a deal. Just select the whole thing and delete it. And now if we do this, because we are now on, we're still on Mama Lunch Special. We did not go to the one that we wanted to go to. Where are we at? So it is the only one. Because I think we called it sandwich BRD, did we not? Sandwich BRD. So from here, this one, let's see if it'll let us do it. So yeah, unknown, sandwich portal. That's what we can do. We can call it from the sandwich portal, and we can say that it is okay. However, it's going to these little things, it's going to want us to be like, where are you at? Because we're obviously in the wrong one, right? So remember that this was the sandwich portal. So the current table, sandwich portal, this is the item number. This one is from sandwich portal and item name. And this one is sandwich portal, item price. And we didn't put our little piece down there, so we didn't do that yet, right? So we can actually go in and we can grab our field picker. I know I moved it behind me and I do apologize. It's kind of hard because there's not a whole lot of space here, but so from our field picker, we can go into our sandwich portal and we can bring in our, without a label, we can just do our price summary. Close that down. Okay. Oh, this one's really long. I don't know why I did that, but let's change it. Let's change it just a little bit. We don't need it to be near that big. I'm gonna grab my whole thing, move it up a little bit so it's out of the way. Actually, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my finished. I'm gonna move that over here. My table number, I'm going to move over here because I'm going to add this so that it looks really super good. Control Z that so we don't move it because I want to move the whole thing as a unit. So finished. I'm going to put the finished underneath of it. Put this over there. And then now that we have this, we can put this finished underneath of it. And we can take our little total. Now remember, this is our price total. So when we're in our inspector, we will need to go in to the data, and we will need to make sure that it is a currency, fixed number of decimals, and system settings. Now you'll also want to do the same thing on your item price if it's not already there. And the item number will just be general, so we're good to go there. Now this table number is actually under the wrong thing. It's under Mama, so we need to make sure that we do it under our current table, and it will be table number. And the same thing with this tracking number. If you double click on it, all you have to do is go to the current table and the tracking number. And now it's reset those so that it knows where they are and we know where they are. And now we're going to grab this little turkey, bring it up here, because we want this to fit on the page. And so that's why we've used our lights, which is this little thing here. If we didn't have it, this little shows us where our outer boundaries are. Now we don't need it on our main menus, but here we need it because we just kind of want it to stick in that page. We don't want to have to move it around at all to do that. Now the item, this particular thing, this is a total cost. So exactly how much is it going to cost? And we can make that much larger, which I would assume that you would want to do just for your customer so that that customer knows how much did I just spend. Another good trick to do as well is to, in your field or in your inspector, which is field inspector, we want to just give it no color and no line, but we can leave it so that people can see what the price is, because that's kind of a big deal. We want people to be able to see what's going on. And also what we're going to want to do is in this item name, we're going to want to move this over just a little bit because we need a blank space in here so that if people want to remove an item, they can remove an item. And how we do that is we just create a little tiny button, and I'm just going to kind of stick it in there, and I'm going to name it X, and right now we'll do nothing with it. I do want to make it a little bit smaller. Put it dead in the center. Let's make it. It kind of makes it tough, doesn't it? Kind of makes it tough here. So we can do in our inspector. We can see that it says, what do you want to do with it? I just want to go a solid color with it, and the color that I want to go is red. And then for our positions, we want to make sure that we have centered, that our little X is centered. So it's going to be, apparently it's going to be in this. So we're just going to go do one. Okay. So now it should be centered. If you do need to get this a little bit bigger, you can zoom in by pushing that. By pushing this little down here in the corner. I know you guys can't see it very well, but down here in the corner, you can zoom in on these things just a little bit. And so I'm going to make it just a little bit bigger. I want it to be right dead smack in the center there. It's pretty important that it's right dead smack in the center there. And so now I can go minus from my 150%. And now we actually have this little button. So now we basically are building, what we're doing is we're building our sandwich board. So from Tiffany's Cafe, I'm just going to go back. And I'll just do sandwich. B-O-A-R-D. Sandwich boards. And we'll just call it that. So we kind of know what it is and where it is and why it is. Now we do have these which are already set up. And they're already started, which is kind of cool because we just doubled it. But they're already started as to the script that it's going to do and what that script says. If you guys remember the last time we actually did do the script, we had started to create it. So here, instead of saying we want to set the product code from mama, because we don't want to do that, we want to, oh, this is bad. Because we don't have a product code. We do not have a product code, do we? We did not even set a product code for this. So let's just call it okay. And we need to go into, let's just say okay. We need to go into manage our database. And on this one, we need a product code. Product underscore code. And we're just going to call it a text because we don't care. And so now when we go into this one, we double click on it and we click on the sans specs. We can now go into, instead of this product code, we can go into our sandwich 1 and we now have a product code. But remember that when we do that, we have to put that field, that field has to be on the table. It has to be out here. It has to be on this blue screen somewhere that we created. So now we can set all of our variables, and obviously our variables are going to be different. So instead of being mama table number, it's going to be, all we got to do is just click this. So sandwich 1, table number. It's pretty simple to make these changes at this point. And this one will be product value product code. So we just, to specify, we'll just do product code. And this next one is our tracking number. So if we just do sandwich 1, it'll just do tracking number. This is a really easy way to do it. And then we're going to set the field, and it says product code. I was going to sneeze, I just knew it. We need to do this under our sandwich 1, and it is our product code, because we want to set it to blank. So we just want to clear it out so we're good to go. Freeze the window. Goodness gracious. I'm going to be a sneezer today, I think. And the rest of it is just going to go, it's going to go and do a bunch of things that we already knew that it was going to do. So let's just go ahead and call that okay at this point. Change cursor overhead. Okay, but we do need to, in our field picker, we do need to grab our product code and we need to bring it out on the table. It has to be out here somewhere. I don't care where it is, but it has to be out here. And the cool thing about this product code is that it doesn't need to. So if we go into our inspector and we are clicked on our product code, it doesn't have to have any color to it. It doesn't have to have a line around it. And the color of the print can be very close to the same color of your screen. So in this case, I'm just going to bring it up here so we can see it kind of. But I'm just going to get it out of the way because I don't really want it in the way. I want it as far out of the way as possible. And we can also grab our tracking number at the same time and also put it over here as well, just so it's out of the way. Our table number, I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do with the table number? I'm going to put it over here. I'm going to grab my inspector. I don't want it to have any color, and I want it to have no line. And I don't care if it says whatever that is, because the table number we will set that. Your waitress will actually set the table number for you. So we're going to grab our little thing, and we can either, there's a couple of different things we can do. We can either put it way over here to the side, which I believe is just fine. It's probably one of the better things to do. And you can add pictures in here if you want to. If you want to put like a picture of some breads or some different sandwich meats or whatever you want to. This is a perfect place to do that. You could also move this over or closer if you wanted to and accomplish the exact same goal. But what we want to do is we really want to work just quickly on getting this to bring those things back so that when we exit our layout, right now you can see we have nothing. We have to create a record. Have to have that record created. It's the only way to make it happen. Now this, I think we did 15 on that. And these are still, we can still touch them. And I think what we did was our record. Do you guys remember what the tracking number was for that other deal? Probably not. So let's do this. We are currently on sandwich 1 and sandwich BRD. BRD. So remember that. So what we want to do is we want to go to our menu 1, Mama Lunch, and I think it's, I think it's Mama Lunch Special or Mama Lunch. I think it's Mama Lunch. So here it says create the item. Remember that? Well, we want to change what it does now. So instead of going to the layout Mama Lunch Special, we want it to go to a different layout. And that layout is going to be the sandwich board. And we'll call that OK. Change to cursor overhand. So now when we go there, it will take us to our new one. The newest one, the one that we just did. And we'll also, it'll have to make sure that it puts the number in there, but don't worry, we'll get that figured out later on. Right now our big thing is we need to now figure out, so if people are done creating, or we're going to need a button to, like this button here, we're going to need a button. So I'm going to just control copy it and bring it out here, because what if we're thinking ahead here? What if someone decides, okay, I want to create a sandwich, and then they get in there and they're like, you know what? I really don't want to create a sandwich. So we'll have a finished button, but we also need to have a button that just allows them to just escape. Just be like, you know what? I changed my mind. I didn't want to do that. Just forget it. You know, I decided I didn't want a sandwich. So you'll have a finished one, and then the second button, right now we're going to name it Go Back, but that's not what it's going to be. We'll just call it Go Back. But it'll be, you know what we should call it? We should just say, I got a better idea. Let's do this. Let's call it Cancel. That'll work. Cancel. So cancel or finished. The cancel button will cancel the sale completely. It'll erase everything, but its primary purpose right now is to we're just going to make it just go back to the place where we just came from. You don't have to do that. It's not a big deal, but if you want to, you can. You can just do, single step, and it just makes it a little easier for you to go back and forth. And so I'm just going to say, go to layout, and then the layout will be the Mama Lunch. And it's just a way of just keeping my plan. So if I'm in here, I can say I want to go back. I want to create the item. I can go back too. So just so I can check on those things. But we do have is our kitchen sandwiches. So here we have the kitchen sandwiches, and here we have the kitchen sandwich copy. This is the one that we wanted, and it's got a 5 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros after it. So our tracking number needs to be that number. Remember we talked about it on the last one? So we go into our sandwich bird. We need a 5 and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros, right? Now the cool thing is that we edit our layout. Let's edit our layout. Oh, so we did it in the wrong place, didn't we? So because we need the one down from that. So these, I'm going to set them all the way to that far side. And then I'll exit the layout really quick. And this number obviously is not the right number, so we'll just delete it. This is the number that we want. Now later on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll want to make positive that what we're doing here is that people won't be able to touch these and change them. And remember how we do that? We just go into our, if we're in edit layout, We can grab both of these by just pressing the shift button when we grab one. And we want to, on the data thing, not available in browse mode. That's pretty simple. That's all that we need to do. Not available in browse mode. We can do that with our table number and all of the other ones as well. Now, one of the things that we'll do is on the next video, I'll show you how we'll create table numbers. Simple, easy, painless table numbers. It will automatically assign so that when your waitress has the tablet in her hand, she can type in a quick number. It'll take her to a space. She can select the table. As a matter of fact, you can draw. The cool thing is we can use it. We can draw out the layout of your store, the layout of your restaurant on a page, and she could just select the table for its location, where it is in the place. Pretty cool. I will show you guys how to do that. It will be amazing. So be sure that you're watching that one because it's going to be great. So at this point, now what we need to do is we need to exit our layout. We can now see that we have a number. So now if we go into our breads and we press the white bread, what will happen? Well, it should take us out and charge another piece of white bread, right? So if we press it, your selection has been added. So let's go to our kitchen sans copy, right? There's our third piece of bread, so it's now added all three of them. But that's all it's done. So we're going to go back to our sandwich board. Now you can clean these up, by the way, if you're only wanting to see certain ones. Go into Edit Layout, Manage Layouts, and what you can do is you can uncheck them. So if you uncheck like these ones, uncheck, 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 you will not see them when you look. So if you go into Edit Layout and you come back here, you won't see them anymore. They just disappear. So unchecking them, basically, that's all it does, is it just gives you the ability to change it. So, and obviously when we're done, we'll uncheck all of them. The only one that you'll have is that beginning page. And then from there, a waitress has to get them on the correct page, and then they can't escape without the waitress actually doing it, or your wait staff doing it. So we now need to go in, and at this point, we need to change our, this script, right? Because what we've done is we've gone to where we wanted to go. We've gotten there. And now we've come back to this original layout. We've come back to the layout where we started from. But now what we need to do is we need to now set the fields ourselves. So this is not a difficult thing to do. So from here, we can say, I'm just going to, anywhere in the white bottom part, I'm just going to click on. And we're going to say, go to. And this one we can say, go to portal row. So here we can say go to portal row first, but what we want is actually go to portal row last. As you can tell in our other one, what we did is we went to our layout, we set a field after we performed the find, and then we went to the portal row last. And now what we have to do is we have to set fields. So if we go to this portal row last thing, we can click on 3 set fields, click once, click twice, and I'm just double clicking. So double click once, double click twice, double click 3 times. Now we have set field. The field that we want to set in the first one, the specified target field, it says the item number. So let's just do that one. We want to go to our portal, which is our sandwich one portal, item number, and we want it to be a $ product, right? So $ product. Call it OK. The second one, we want to specify menu. This one will be our sandwich portal 1, and it's going to be the item price. Double click on item price, and we'll come in and it'll be $price. And the third one is our item name. So if we click this, we specify, and we go into our sandwich portal, we have item name, and the thing is the variable is $name. $name. Now we're just doing this so that we can keep it all together. So everything is together. Now after we did the last one, so we went ahead, we went to our portal row, we set all that information. Here it is. Everything is set. We're ready to go. Then we're going to show the custom dialog. Your selection has been added. So the cool thing about what this is now going to do is if we exit the layout and we go to our breads and we press a white bread, it should add it to our system, just like that. And so now we see an item number, a name, and the overall price. And we currently see this, but we don't see it correctly. This should have been, and I could have swore I put it as in currency, fixed number of decimals, and system settings. I wonder why it wasn't showing the price. Oh, there it is. I guess maybe I just need to touch it. I don't know. I'll figure that out if we have another issue. So breads, we could do that again. Your selection has been added, and there it adds it. But now we need to be able to say, hey, I want to get rid of some of these items, right? I want to be able to get rid of some of these items because let's just say that I changed my mind and I don't want white bread anymore, right? Well, that in and of itself is an entirely new script. So what we have to do with that is we have to reverse the script that we just created. So in order to do that, we can't just say clear portal row, because if we did that, the kitchen would still be getting the wrong stuff, right? So we need to make sure that we change it. So the best way to do something like this is to manage our scripts. And the reason why the best way to manage our scripts is because we can go back to that script. We can look at it. So we can close off these two. And now we've got this one, but we can create a new script. And we'll just call it cancel item. Cancel underscore item. Okay. Now, because we have this, we can go here and here, here and here, here and here. Pretty cool, right? So what we can do is when we're on this one, I'm going to control S because I want to save it, right? Even though it has nothing there. But what we're going to do is, the first thing that we're going to do is it's going to have to select that item number. But if you think about it, how many items are there? And how many lines are there? So, because if we tell it to go look for that item, we don't want it to delete all of them. Let's say you selected white bread twice, and you just wanted to delete one of them and not both of them. You now have to figure out, well, I just want to delete one of them, right? So on our cancel item thingy, the first things that we need to do is we need to set a few variables. It's pretty common. So we're going to set some variables, and that very first variable that we're going to set is, we're going to call it product. And it is actually going to be on sandwich 1, the product code, but not this product code. We're looking for, on the portal, we're looking for the item number. Item number. So now that we have this, what we can do is because we've set it as a variable, we can go to our other one, perform find, and then erase that portal row, which is pretty simple to do. So from this point, what we'll do is we will freeze the window, because we need to freeze it, because we don't want anyone else to know that that's what we're doing. We'll freeze the window very quickly. We'll go to, and the layout that we're going to go to is, and this one should be called, this is the kitchen sans copy, I believe. But we need to set, we better set 2 variables just to make absolutely positive. So I want to do, this one is going to be the I want to say invoice, but it's going to be, it's a tracking. So I'm just going to say track. And it's actually our tracking number. And then freeze window, go to layout, blah, 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 enter find mode, enter find mode. And we don't want it to pause, we don't need it to pause. And then we need to make sure that we are on the right number. So what we could do is we could say, we could go here, go to Kitchen Sans layout, and then we could tell it to set a field if that field is empty. Because remember, that's what we're doing is on our sandwich board, we're saying when we go there, there's 2 different fields that we want to compare to each other. One of them is the tracking number. Like as we see here, we say set field, product code, tracking number. So we did track. If it is not equal to track. Okay, so what we did is we set the field sandwich log invoice comp. That's what we did. And then we said if. Oop, I don't want to do that. So if I go here, so let's just say we'll set the field sandwich log invoice comp to track. And you can actually Control C that, Control V that. So we set the variable, we went to layout, set the field, sandwich log invoice code comp track. And then if those 2 are not the same, which is kind of what we want to do, so if, I think it's under sandwich log, I think they're both under sandwich log. If the invoice code, well, maybe what we'll do is not equal to the invoice comp code. Okay. Let's go back here and see what it says. So this says if the invoice code sandwich log invoice code comp. Okay, so if they're not the same, so if they're not the same, then you need to enter the find mode. So in this case, we'll say if these are not the same, are not equal, then we will enter the find mode. And so from here, we'll just Control S. From here, I don't think we made any changes to that, but we can go ahead and Control S it, no big deal. So then we'll enter the find mode, and we'll, at this point, we'll just basically put we're looking for our invoice, right? So we'll enter the find mode, we'll set a field. The field will be under sandwich log, and it'll be invoice code, and that invoice code will be track, $track. I know I'm going a little fast, and I don't mean to, so I do apologize if I'm going a little bit too fast. And then from this point, we need to perform the find. Show all records as the last thing. So at this And you can also do set, we can set our error capture just before we perform the find so that it doesn't mess anything up. So we can set our error capture on, perform the find, and then we want to show all records because we don't want to confine the records. That's kind of a big deal. So show all records at the end of that. And then end the if. So if they're not equal, then we're gonna look for that one. And then so there we are. So now we can Control S that because we can save it, but we're nowhere near close to being finished with it. So what we need to do is we now need to go in and we need to perform a find for that specific item, for that one specific item. So at this point, we will enter find mode, which is the second time we enter the find mode. We don't need to pause. We'll only enter the find mode if in this one. But in this one, we'll enter that find mode, period. So we'll go to the layout. We set the field invoice comp track. We're going to enter the find mode, and we're going to look for, in a very specific area, you can actually tell it the specific request that you want it to do. You can say new, and you can say, for this one, we need it's the sandwich, it's not sandwich log, it's sandwich bar. It'd be item number. And then we want to action find records. Yeah, we want to find the records from sandwich bar. We'll find that one. Why is it not letting it work? Okay. Item number, insert operator. What? Relax search, Japanese only. Match phrase. Invalid date or time. You guys remember, I have not match whole word or match empty. Match entire field. I've never used this because I normally just enter the find mode, find what I want, and I just go on. So I don't actually even mess with it. So let's just cancel that whole, discard that. I don't really care about that. So, okay, so here we entered the find mode, and then we will set a field. And that field obviously will be the sandwich log, and it'll be the invoice sandwich bar. It'll be the item number, and the calculated result will be the $ product, right? $ product. Okay. Then set error capture on. Perform the find. And then go to portal row. At that point, we want to go to that portal row, and we'll say go to the portal row first, the very first portal row, or the very top one. And then we will delete portal row, delete portal row. We can perform it without dialog. And then at that point, we need to show all records. Show all records. Now we're going to try this because I've never tried it on a dual system where you have to do it twice like this. I can normally do it with just the portal row that I'm on, but I've never had to do it twice. So we're going to try this like from a distance. Like go there and grab it and do it. And then, so we're going to try it. We're going to see how it works. Show all records. Then we need to go back to our original layout. go to our original layout, and at this point, we need to delete the records on that portal row. But the cool thing is from here, because we've set this variable, what we can do is we can delete the portal row here. So what I would do is I would say delete portal row, and I'm going to bring it right up to here, set the variable, because it will only select it from that one portal row. So we can now say delete portal row. We don't need it to perform any dialog, so no dialogue, so it'll delete the portal row. Then it will go and it will do all this other stuff. We'll go back to the original layout, and we'll halt the script. I'm kind of excited to see how this works. Cancel item is what we called it. So now if we close that, we can go into this, and we tell it to perform a script, and that script will be cancel item. Exit the layout. So I do want to do a script debugger while I'm doing this because I want to see it in action. That's all there is to it. I want to see it in action. And unfortunately, it's going to have to be over my head, dang burned it, because I want to see how it does everything so I can pay attention to it, right? So we're here. Press this button, cancel item. And we're just going to F6. We're just going to walk through it, F6, right? So F6, it's going to delete that portal row, which it did just like that. And then it's going to go to our tracking number, freeze the window, go to our layout, and there they are. There's all those white breads, right? Set field. Then it didn't need to because the records match, so it didn't need to find it. But it is now going to enter find mode. Ta-da! It's going to set our product code, set error capture on, perform the find. Look how many of them there are. And then it will go to the portal row, select first, the very first one, delete that portal row, show all records, which shows the new records, go to the layout, halt the script. Now you may be wondering, what if, Tim, it says no errors, by the way, what if it wasn't like the right one, right? So what if it needed something else? Well, let's go to our inventory. And let's tell it to show all records because we've obviously missed a few records in there. Now, if you remember correctly, what we did was we set up. So we have 1003 is chicken. 1003 is chicken. So I'm going to write that down, and we'll use that as a meat, and then we'll use the 1004 as our thing. So the cool thing is here we could have wrote white bread, and this can be chicken breasts, and this can be American cheese. So it kind of gives us a better quality of what we're doing, right? So we did make those. So let's go back to our sandwich board. Now in our meat section, we'll go here. We'll go in our meat section. We want to go to this chicken one. And we want it to perform that script. Remember the script that we wanted to? Sans specs. But the number, don't forget our optional script parameter. That's kind of a big thing. It needs to be 1003. Change to hand to over cursor. And we don't have a cheese one. So I want to change this one to, I'm just going to write cheese on it, just so that it makes life easier. And then I'm going to tell it to perform that script, the sans specs, and I'm going to put in there 1004 at the bottom. Now, I normally wouldn't have done that, but I'm doing it for a purpose. So now if we edit our layout, we have white bread, and we're going to go into our meats. We're going to do a chicken. Item has been added. Chicken breasts, as you see, there it is. And then we're going to do a slice of cheese. And then we're going to do another slice of cheese because we want double the cheese. But we decided we don't want double the cheese. We changed our minds already. We said, you know what? This sandwich is $3.50. I've had way too much cheese. I don't want to pay that much for a sandwich, so I'm going to get rid of one of the American cheeses. Let's see what happens. So now if we go to our tools and we hit our script debugger, and we bring it over here where you guys can see it, and we try to get rid of one of our cheeses, cancel item. So as you see, it immediately erased that row. So now there's only one cheese on it, and it'll change that price as we get back, so don't worry about it. Because you guys can notice the $3.50 is still $3.50, right? I can see it too, but it just hasn't changed it yet because it's frozen everything. So we'll set our variable, freeze the window, go to the layout. Notice all of those things are on there. See, we've got 2 cheeses, a bread, a bunch of white breads, all this stuff. So we'll just go, it's if these numbers are the same, is what it's doing. It's looking for if these 2 numbers are the same. It's better to compare 2 numbers than it is to compare a number to a variable. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but it will later on, especially when you start doing this and you want this to be open to public. So, right? Better to compare 2 numbers than to a number to a variable. So it's not going to need to do that because the numbers are identical. It's going to end if, it's going to enter the find mode. We're going to put our product code in there. We'll set the error capture on, perform the find. What? The product code show all records. It just deleted one of the white breads. Set field item code product. Set variable product value sandwich portal item number. Didn't work. So our item number is right here. I'm not sure why it didn't do it. I'm going to figure it out here in just a quick second. So sandwich portal 1. That's the sandwich portal. Sandwich portal 1 item number. Delete that portal row, set variable. Go to layout. Enter find mode, set field, sandwich bar, item number, product code. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna call this okay for now, but I'm gonna try something. So what I'm gonna try is I'm gonna edit my layout, I'm gonna manage my database. And I'm going to add, I'm just going to add a boxy. A boxy box. And what our boxy box is that it's just a box that will tell me what's going on. Boxy box. Or boxy bot. You can call it any dang thing you want to. I like to do it from time to time because that way what I can do is if I go into manage my scripts, like that last script that we were just on, I can set the variable and then from there I can delete the portal row, set another variable, and then what I can do is set a field. And that field I can set is under sandwich the boxy box. And the calculated result will be this product. So I know that it's actually doing the right product code. So let's do $sign product. $sign product. Okay. $sign product. $sign product. So this is correct. Sandwich bar item number product. Okay. Control S. So let's try this again. Let's exit our layout. Bring us our tools, our script debugger. And let's do another American cheese. And so F6 to bring it in. And it will automatically delete that portal row like instantaneously. It's going to set the variable, which is our tracking number, which is that 5 bazillion that you see right here. Then it's going to set our boxy bot. And it says right there, 1004. So we know it's correct. We now know it's correct. Because when you have a variable, sometimes you're not sure. What variable did it just do? Okay, so freeze the window. So we know that the first part is correct. The first part is perfect. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the layout. We're going to set a field. And the field that we're going to set is this one right here. And it's the code comp field. And then we're going to say if these two are not the same, which they are. So now we're going to end. And then we're going to enter the find mode. So we enter the find mode. We set the field to product code, set error capture on. It didn't set the field. This field must have a different name. So that's where we are. Sandwich bar. Let's go to our we're actually looking for our kitchen one. Unfortunately we undid the kitchen one. So kitchen sans copy, that's the one that we want to do. So we'll just go ahead and get rid of that. So now if we go, we'll see it. It'll be kitchen sans copy. So this field right here, if you want to know what field it is, you just have to click on this. It's sandwich bar item number. And isn't that what our script says? Sandwich bar item number. Set the field sandwich bar item number. $sign product. Okay, so I'm lost. Sandwich bar item number. All right, so you've definitely got me questioning what it's not doing or what it is doing, because it's obviously doing something weird. Perform the find. So this should be correct. Control S. Exit the layout. Let's go back to our sandwich board and let's add some chickens. And now let's try and take some of those chickens away. So let's go to our script debugger. And we're going to go ahead and take off a chicken breast and F6. Enter find mode, set the field. Why is it doing that? Find request. I wonder if I accidentally did something, if something actually happened. So let's go edit layout. I think everything here is fine. But it could have been something could have got messed up in that part of that. So let's just try this one more time. So, because I wasn't used to actually seeing that. So F6. It should be putting that number in there. I don't get why it's not doing it. Oh, I'll bet you no, because it's on there. It's literally going to that, the sandwich bar item number. Go to portal row last or first, so it's just going to get rid of the white bread. Show all records, which it does. All right, well, I will figure that out, and then I will let you guys know what it is that I find. But one thing I did want to mention right off the bat was as we do our scripts, if we're going to add the boxy box, which is not something that we are going to add to it, but it's just easier if you set the field and then you can also go back and set the field back to blank, so that, but it doesn't matter for the purposes of what we were doing. We were just trying to figure out, is it doing what we want it to do? Now you can also go into manage your database, and as you know, when we went to our sandwich bar, or was it sandwich log? The sandwich bar one, you can tell it to so here, sandwich log, you can tell it to enter a certain number in there. You can say, like, you can put a boxy box, right? A boxy bot. Oop. Delete. Okay, and it's a text. Create it. And so you could do this, and then you can go to here and do your in this one, we can add that field to here so that we will know. You bring in your boxy bot, and we change the size of the boxy bot to 24. So now you'll know, okay, this is what number it's putting in there. So you can, when you go into your scripts, you can say, go to your boxy bot. So here, right at the end of here, we can say set field, and that field can be the boxy bot, and the calculated result would be $product. And say okay. Now you can do this so that what's weird is, I was just thinking, you can actually create a system inside of a system that would, now you guys are learning this at exactly the same time I am. So my thought was, if we bring this boxy bot in and we put it on the table and we put a number in there, we can actually tell it to, once that it has a number in it, that it actually does something. And it'll actually say, like, when it's full. So when it's a script trigger basically. So if it's been modified, it will search out and do things. But let's just go Control S. So what we're trying to do now is we're trying to basically break it down to the absolute. Go to the absolute theory of what we're doing. So if we go here now and we bring in our tools, and we're going to bring in our script debugger. I'm going to put it over here. We'll do our chicken breast. We'll do F6, and it's a 1003. So it did put it over there. We're going to move it over here for the heck of it, because it should, at this point in our Boxy bot, put 10003, which it did. Now it's going to enter the find mode. Select the field. So it must be something with this field. Let's do this. I'm going to close this down. I'm going to go, I think in this particular script, we may have to, instead of enter the find mode, we may have to go to a portal row by calculation. So if we did that, we could say, like, go to portal row, select the entire contents, specify by calculation, and you could use, at this point, you could use $ product. No. I was just thinking, we may have to say product code is equal to the product, or product code is equal to Boxy bot. So let's just do that. Let's just do product code is equal to Boxy bot, and we'll say okay. Perform it without the dialog. Now we'll get rid of the enter find mode, and we'll get rid of set the field, and we'll get rid of error capture, and we'll get rid of perform find. Then we'll tell it, we need to tell it to delete that one portal row. Then show all records. Let's give it a try. So the very first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to want to, we don't need to add more of those, but we do need to add some chicken and some cheese. And some chicken and some cheese. Okay, so now that we've done this, we've changed things up. Let's see what happens if we go to our tools, we grab our script debugger, and we get rid of a chicken breast, which is a, let's do American cheese, it's 1004. So F4, F6, I'm sorry, F6, it's 1004, I'm sorry. But so it did not change it in this one. Now it did. Now it's going to go all the way through here. It should set this, set field BoxyBot 1004. Go to portal row, no dialog, sandwich product. So it is the 1004. Product code is equal to the BoxyBot. So it did go to Tech, how are you? It's good to see you. Yeah, you caught me at a confusing moment. I'm a little over an hour, so what I will do is I'll stop the video here and now, but it looks like we're on the right path. So if you guys come up with some ideas, let me know. Shoot them in the comments below. But I think we're getting pretty close to being able to, because normally what I would do is I would have a little switch right here and just say delete portal row, delete portal row, delete portal row. But the only other way to do it would be to assign very specific numbers and then search for that very specific number. But going from a portal row to another portal row to delete that record and then to delete the original record, that's a tough one, especially if you're not going to relate those two. So if you guys have an idea, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll pick up with this one right where we left off next time you guys see me. So thanks everybody for watching me. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe. You know, help us any way you possibly can. We sure appreciate you guys being here, and Tech, we certainly appreciate you being here as well. So thank you very much for being here. And we will see you guys in the next video. Don't worry, I'm positive that it's a super simple, easy thing to do. It's just basically, I believe it's tweaking with this go to portal row, which portal row that we want it to do, or find a specific portal row. I'm sure it's not a big deal, but anyway, we will see you guys in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for being here. And till next time, as I always say, be good to each other. Bye, guys.